What's going on, everyone? Today we are taking a look at a new portable power station. This is the ETaker M2000. Taking a look at the specs, this has a 2008 watt-hour battery capacity, a 2000 watt power handling with a peak of 2400 watts, a 1000 watt solar charging input, UPS function, and is very lightweight at only 37 pounds. Taking a look inside the box, you have your manual, your car charging adapter, your AC charging adapter, your solar charging adapter, and last but not least, you have the power station itself. So taking a look at the power station itself, there are a few things that I really like about this. Right now I have this on the side, so all the ports are over here, but I just wanted to show you the overall size and profile of this. So this whole entire thing is made of an aluminum alloy frame, and this is IP63 water resistant as well, which is not something you see in a lot of power stations. Since this is metal, you can accidentally hit this on something and you don't have to worry about it cracking like most of the plastic power stations out there. As I said earlier, this is a 2008 watt-hour power station. I have reviewed a lot of power stations at this point, and this is by far the smallest 2000 watt-hour power station I've reviewed so far. I even have a few 1000 watt-hour power stations that are actually much bigger than this one. Not only is it smaller, but it's also much lighter as well. Again, this is only 37 pounds. So definitely one of the smallest and lightest power stations of this capacity. And then before I forget to mention it, you also have these two nice handles at the top. Again, all aluminum, it's all one piece. And then right under here, you also have a nice rubber grip as well, which makes it very comfortable to carry around. All right, so turning the power station to the side, this is what it looks like in the front. Right up here on top, you have your remaining capacity. Over here on this side, you have your input information. So you got your watts that are going in and your estimate time it's going to take to charge this. Then over here, you have your watts going out and how long the battery is going to last based on the load that's being pulled. As you can see here, every single port in the front is covered, which is one thing I love because you don't have to worry about kids sticking stuff in the ports or dust or grime getting built up in there as it sits over time. As I said earlier, this is an IP63 water resistant power station, so that's why you have all these ports covered so no water can get in there. So taking a look at your ports, right here you have 4 USB-A ports. The two bottom ones are Quick Charge 3.0 and the top ones are 5 volts 2.4 amps. You have 2 other USB-C ports at the bottom, and these are both Power Delivery 3.0/100 watts. Always good to see that, as a lot of cheaper power stations will put a 100 watt port and a 30 watt port, but again, this has both 100 watt ports. Coming to this side, you have your DC ports. So right here, you have your input for your car/PV solar panel input. And this can do 12 through 50 volts or a 1000 watt max. In the middle, you have two 12.6 volt/6 amp outputs. And then over here, you have a 12 amp cigarette lighter output. Coming to the bottom, you have all your AC outputs, and this is the first time I have seen 6 AC outputs on a power station, which is really great to see because some of these power stations only have 2 to 3 AC outputs, so you need to use a outlet splitter or a power strip or something like that. But with this, you have a whole bunch of outputs. So the top one is a 2-prong output, then you have a 20 amp output. So you have 3 20 amp AC outputs and then 3 2-prong AC outputs. Coming to the back, you have your battery expansion port, your circuit reset button, and then your AC input port. And then last but not least, right up here, you have a large LED light, which is very bright as well. And when I push this button, it has this very nice faded in effect, which is the first time I've seen this on any power station so far. Pushing it again, it fades a little more and goes to high mode. Clicking it again, you have SOS mode. And then one more time, you have strobe mode. Another unique part about this power station is inside it has a semi-solid lithium-ion battery, which has an energy density of 30 to 50% more than a LifePo 4 battery. So to break that down a little more, if you took this battery and compared it to a LifePo 4 battery that weighed exactly the same, the watt hours on this one will come out to be 30 to 50% higher. As far as charging goes, this has 1000 watts of solar charging, so definitely a very fast speed when it comes to its solar capabilities. On the AC side, this is also very quick as well with a maximum of 1500 watts, and that can charge this very quickly from 0 to 80 in only 1 hour. If you would like to charge while you drive, they also sell a car fast charger, which will charge at 500 watts directly from your car's battery. Another impressive thing about this power station is the temperatures it can operate at. So this supports charging and discharging at up to -22 Fahrenheit. I have not seen a power station rated to work that low, so that is definitely another cool and very impressive feature that I like on this power station. As I said earlier, this is a 2008 watt-hour battery, but if you wanted a larger capacity, you can add a second unit, and this will give you about a 4,000 watt-hour capacity and 4,000 power handling. And then if you wanted a serious whole home backup solution, you can go all the way up to 10 units, which will give you 20,000 watt-hours and a massive 16,000 watt power handling. So definitely very cool to have that benefit of being able to expand this. I know you can get a much larger battery that's 20,000 watt hours or something, but the problem with that is usually a very massive unit, and on top of that, you have a very large upfront cost. With this, you can just purchase one unit to start with, and as time goes, you can keep purchasing additional units and kind of build it as you go. This way, it's much more affordable upfront, and it's also a much more portable and flexible setup as well. Alright, so I drained this power station from 100% to 0 with a 900 watt load, and it put out a total of 1,684 watt hours. Doing the math, that gives this unit a usable capacity of 84%. Most power stations of this size put out about 80 to 85% on average, so this is right there on par with most other units. When it comes to the inverter, this has a gallium nitride or GaN inverter, and this has a 96% efficiency, 50% less heat, and is 30% smaller than regular inverters as well. So again, definitely another feature on this power station that puts it ahead of most of its competition. All right, let's go ahead and try out the inverter on this. As I said earlier, this is rated to handle 2,000 watts with a peak of 2,400 watts. 2,000 watts might not sound like a lot, but that can pretty much handle anything in a regular household. Your regular household outlet can only handle about 2,000 watts as well. So anything you can plug into your house is also going to work on this. This includes anything from microwaves, power tools, air conditioners, heaters, coffee makers, and so on. Like I said, pretty much anything in your house, this is going to be able to run it no problem. But I'm going to go ahead and hook up a few different things right here just to show you how much this can actually run and still have a lot of juice left over. So first up, let's go ahead and charge up my MacBook Pro. All right, so as you can see, the MacBook is pulling about 70 to 75 watts. Right here, I have a game console. Let's go ahead and plug that in as well. So that bumped us up a little bit to 88 watts. Let me go ahead and add a cell phone as well. Now we're up to 102 watts. All right, so now I have a large speaker here, and this uses its own AC adapter. Go ahead and plug that in. And that bumped us up to right about 140 watts. So just to clarify, we have a laptop, a large speaker, a game console, and a cell phone all charging at the same time, and that is only 138 watts. So you could easily charge 10 more cell phones, 3 more laptops, and this is still not going to put any toll on the power station itself. As you can see right here, if I keep charging all of these items, it's going to be able to charge it for 8.4 hours, and that's only with a 62% capacity. So you're probably going to get about 14, 15 hours if you were to use a load like this here. This can definitely charge every piece of technology you have in your house and still last several days doing it. One thing people often ask is, can the power station run a full-size fridge, and how long can it do it? Unfortunately, we're doing some remodeling in my house, so I can't film with my full-size fridge. But right here I have my mini fridge, which draws about half of what my full-size fridge does. And as you can see right now, it's pulling about 130 watts. And keep in mind, this does cycle on and off. So right now it's been off, so it's going to keep running for a few hours. But once it hits its temperature, it'll cycle down and only draw about 3 watts. So despite this saying it's only going to last 10 hours, it's actually going to last more like 15 hours. And when you take into account we're down about 40% battery, you should be able to get somewhere around 20, 24 hours with a mini fridge on this power station. So with a full-size fridge, you'll probably be able to run it for about 12 to 15 hours. So definitely more than enough capacity to use as backup power for a fridge. Once again, this is smaller and lighter than most other 200 watt hour power stations as well. I say this because typically if you go with a 2000 watt hour power station, it's just so big and clunky that it's no longer portable. But this one, you still get the benefit of portability, but then you also get much more capacity as well. So this is a lot more flexible to use. So this is going to be great for camping, outdoor events, home backup, and pretty much anything where you might need power where you traditionally wouldn't have it. I know a lot of people get nervous when it comes to storing large batteries like this in their house, but rest assured you don't have anything to worry about, as this does have a lot of built-in safety. First off, this has a CMS, which is a charging management system, a BMS, which is a battery management system, and a EMS, which is an energy management system. So all of these work together to protect the power station, and if one of them finds something is wrong, it'll basically alert the other one, and all of that works in tandem to protect this power station. So once again, definitely a very safe power station. Overall, this is definitely a solid power station. It's smaller and lighter than most of its competition, and it's also very affordable as well. So overall, if you happen to be shopping for a mid to large capacity power station, I would highly recommend this one here, which again is the ETaker M2000. All right, well, that about wraps up this video. As usual, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.